All right, traders, to watch this video for Monday, January 14th. Showing you the SPY, small gap down on Friday, but ended up closing right near Thursday's high. So the market's still pretty darn resilient after that nasty sell-off back there. Before I go into the watch list for Monday, if you weren't in chat on Friday, I had a red day, and I did a lot of babbling about in chat about my mindset when I've had a couple red trades in the morning. And then I thought, you know what, I'm just going to make a video about that. So check that out on my YouTube channel because I don't want to go into it today. I don't want to start crying talking about my red day on Friday. So, but there is a video about it. And it's really, the whole gist of it is to get you into my mindset and what I would have done in the past when I allowed myself, in my early trading days, allowed myself to fall into kind of a desperate mindset and how that can spiral on you. So if you get a chance, check out that video. All right. Here's what I'm watching for Monday. HYRE, big volume on Friday and closed fairly strong. You can kind of picture from here, or no, let me say from here, little cup and handle. And, so if you view this cup and handle, you could kind of argue that Friday is day one of a breakout. Plus, really the biggest volume day this stock has ever had. Second biggest. Back here it had a bigger volume day. So this one might catch some attention. You can see it's a relatively new issue, hasn't been trading that long, and certainly going to be looking for a follow-through day with a proper intraday setup on Monday. CRMD just popped up above 180 back here, hit it a couple times again here, and now a few days lower on declining volume. So kind of have a little cup and handle there that we're going to watch. VHC holding up pretty well. I was hoping for a stronger close on Friday, but you had this huge pop, then sellers came in, then a green day, and then briefly on Friday, and I caught a trade here, but it didn't hold. Still was a green trade for me, but if this would have held up better, I'd like it more. It gave back a lot of that, that kind of afternoon pop through 4. Nobody's really winning on this one after the big pop, right? Sellers came in, then buyers came in, then buyers tried to continue, and it's kind of back to right about where it closed on Thursday. So I'm not in love with this, but it certainly isn't going to cost me anything to have it on the chart, so I will. The pot stocks have been really strong, and as Al posted in chat on Friday, this is kind of one of the forgotten ones. All of a sudden it got some volume. It got remembered, if you will, on Friday. So a nice volume day and a fairly strong close. It's had issues with the $15 area for quite some time after this nasty sell-off, right? So, and it did again on Friday. It went to 1586 before settling in right around 15. But if the pot stocks catch a bid again, this one is kind of a forgotten one that's worth looking at, all right? Thin stock, be careful with it. CFX was on watch going into Friday, and it still hasn't broken this high back here that was 22.18. It did get to 22.14. It's certainly kind of interesting over this week-long, 1 week high, I guess I should say. So I want to watch that one. A couple more. GOGO. We had an interesting debate in chat about whether GOGO is really even in play right now. Well, it did have earnings. It actually made a few $100s on this the morning of the gap up and that rip through 4. Unfortunately, it ripped through 4 without me, but I caught a quick trade. As a matter of fact, I can show you if you weren't in chat that day. Right? Called this long. These are 5-minute candles, so it's kind of hard to see. I called this long, like, I don't remember, through 370 that morning, and it went all the way up close to 4. My best sell was like 392, but it came right back down. I mean, it is a tricky trader. Then it goes through 4 without me. Like I said, I made a few $100, and then it kind of tailed off the rest of the day. Then the very next day, it's starting to find a bid, and then it's kind of slowly climbing. There it is on 15. So it's not really in play. But because it had earnings a few sessions ago, and it hasn't really sold off, and there's a lot of shorts in the name, this one could kind of be interesting. Maybe a seller comes in at 4, knowing that 413 breaks the high of the earnings day, and then maybe a squeeze. So it's obscure, but I want to watch it. That's the best way I can put it. And then US Steel, and this is solely, well, I don't want to say solely, but the whole wall controversy, fence, barrier, whatever the heck you want to call it, U.S. Steel certainly stands to benefit if anything is passed, right? Because it's supposed to be a steel barrier now, and the president said we're going to use U.S. Steel, and he didn't mention. I don't mean the company, which is called United States Steel, but steel made in the United States. I don't think he was specifically referring. But anyway, U.S. Steel here could certainly be a huge beneficiary, and it had a nice pop back here and is going straight sideways. So we do have a decent chart setup, and if there's any inclination that the wall, barrier, whatever is going to be built, you could see this one breaking this 3 or 4 day high and ripping, right? So I do want to have this on a chart. I am not in love with this list at all. I usually have a bigger list with a few stocks I'm in love with, and I looked at a lot of charts today, and I couldn't get myself to fall in love with anything, but that doesn't matter that much because we usually find, some nice morning gappers to trade also. So we'll add morning gappers to this list, and we'll be diligent and make sure that we're catching a low risk intraday setup. And the teamwork's been fantastic. Amazing call on ACB by Jane on Friday if you weren't there. So there's always somebody in the room with the teamwork that we have. Somebody in the room finding an A+ setup. So anyway, looking forward to the week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see y'all on Monday.